Alrighty, new in Schoology today is it's a doc called Good Text Analysis Second Paragraph, and what's on there is there's an outline and it's color coded, and there's also the sample second paragraph that I wrote earlier this year for St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves, and that's color coded too. Quick reminder, I don't expect you to color code your writing. This is just something I put here for a reference for you. All right, so also there's a spot in Schoology for you to submit your second paragraph of the text analysis on Good. And I'm going to give you today, and I'm going to give you tomorrow to get this paragraph written. A couple words of advice. Now, if you're going to go with symbols, which is a good choice, it's the one that I used in the sample paragraph, it's very important to explain in the paragraph what the person, action, or object that you're saying is a symbol. You have to explain what it represents, what it symbolizes. Without that, you're just saying, that's a symbol, take my word for it. Don't worry about it. And that's tough to grade. You're not limited to explaining just one symbol. You could, if you find two symbols, like the narrator and her husband, spending some time on each one of those is a good choice. If you go with conflict, the internal conflict of the narrator is probably the most important conflict. I think it's going to be unavoidable to talk about that one. But if you think it's advantageous for your essay, if it works with your central idea to include the person versus nature conflict that the husband is experiencing with his battle with cancer, yeah, bring that in too. The more of these things you can bring in, the easier it actually is to find evidence. I mean, if you just go with the internal conflict, you're going to have to find two new pieces of evidence, things you didn't use in the earlier paragraph for that. And it's doable, but it can be tricky. Finally, when it comes to if you decide to go with characterization, I'm going to give the same piece of advice. You don't necessarily have to focus just on one character. The contrast between these two characters, the narrator and her husband, I think are awfully important to our understanding of the story, and I don't think there's really been too many central ideas that you guys have proposed that wouldn't benefit from characterizing not only the narrator but her husband as well. So don't forget, 2 pieces of evidence is considered adequate, 3 pieces is considered generous, but make sure if you add that third piece, make sure it's working, make sure it's not just hanging out there wanting to be a third. And when it comes to analysis, 1 good sentence per piece of evidence is adequate. 2 sentences where you expand on your thoughts even a little bit more, that's considered insightful and is worth a little bit more points. Don't forget, you can consult the rubric in Schoology that I have attached to where you submit this paragraph. It'll let you know exactly what I'm going to be looking for and how many points each thing is worth. Finally, if at this point you still don't feel super confident in what you're doing, here is your best plan. Do your best, write the paragraph, let me know that you don't feel super confident about what you're doing, and then go ahead and submit it. Because I can give you advice on what is working and what isn't working if I have something in front of me. If you just have a blank page and a blank mind, that's tough to build from because it's just, well, blank. If you're in a position where you need to play catch up a little bit with some of these assignments that are connected to this text analysis, 1, don't wait too long. We're going to be doing an argumentative real soon, and then you'll start getting the essays mixed up and why make your life more difficult. Also, please keep in mind that the smaller assignments that we work on before we get to the actual writing of the paragraphs help you write a better paragraph, so they are worth your while. Plus, there's a lot you can copy and paste from these earlier assignments to use in your actual submission of the text analysis. It's a win-win for you. All right, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get out of here. You get writing. I'm going to give you 2 days. See you real soon.